If you have high blood pressure and you tend to be libertarian minded, don't read this article. Anyways, paper currency is the new gold. It's by Joe Wiesenthal of the Business Insider. Let's go into this article. Everyday situation that requires the use of physical cash feels more and more like an anachronism. It's like listening to music on a CD. John Maynard Keynes famously referred to gold as a barbarous relic. Well, the new barbarous relic is physical cash. Like gold, cash is physical money. Like gold, cash is still fetished. And like gold, cash is a costly drain on the economy. First, there's the simple cost of handling cash. And then it goes on. The real problem, which economists are starting to recognize, is that paper cash is an impediment to effective monetary policy and therefore economic growth. This is probably the silliest sentence that I've read in this article, but we could continue. What's happening is taxes need to be cut and the debt needs to be liquidated. That's the only way we're going to grow. But let's get into this article published by Kenneth Rogoff. It's called Costs and Benefits to Phasing Out Paper Currency. The key argument is this: in our world of ultra-low inflation, it may be necessary for central banks to cut rates to below zero. However, if that happens, consumers can always take physical cash out of the banking system to avoid paying negative rates. In a world of purely digital money, the central banks could set interest rates wherever was appropriate. Central bankers out of control. But that's coming to a town near you soon. But let's go down here. The low overall level combined, this is from Kenneth Rogoff, by the way. The low overall level combined with the zero bound means that central banks cannot cut interest rates nearly as much as they might like in response to large deflationary shocks. If all central bank liabilities were electronic, paying a negative interest on reserves, but as long as central banks stand ready to convert electronic deposits to zero interest paper currency in unlimited amounts, it suddenly becomes very hard to push interest rates below levels of, say, negative 0.25 to negative 0.50%. Certainly not on a sustained basis. Hoarding cash may be inconvenient and risky, but if rates become too negative, it becomes worth it. Rogoff isn't the first to go down these lines, and then goes on. So not only is cash cumbersome like gold, it's an increasingly problematic component of the monetary system. Like gold, it's a form of hard money. Let's read this slowly. Like gold, it's a form of hard money that's growth constraining and deflationary. So yes, cash is pretty to look at, and everyone would love to one day have a gigantic pile of it. But it's time to dish this barbarous relic and have a monetary system fit for the 21st century. I don't know if this guy's serious, but I wouldn't be surprised. He follows guys like Krugman and Stiglitz and all those other guys on the hard left. So let's get this straight. They want to ditch cash for a cashless society. And what does a cashless society entail? We already technically have 80% of our system based on a cashless society. And who wins in that situation? Big government. Let's read this. Alright, Signature Bank's Shea. Cashless society threatens our freedoms. And this article goes on to talk about some of the problems that we're going to have with cashless society system. Companies also use the tools to control consumer behavior. By the way, this is at moneynews.com. Responding to government pressure, Visa and MasterCard banned online betting payments from their systems, even though no federal or state law required them to do so, he says. As a result, online gambling sites found it impossible to operate regardless of the jurisdiction or legality. Shea even foresees a day when overweight consumers will see purchases of sugary drinks denied. Can't consumers just use cash? This may be the case for the moment, but we are well on the road to becoming a cashless society. A MasterCard study found that 80% of consumer transactions in the United States are electronic. In Sweden, where only 30% of transactions are made with physical money, beggars were given card readers to receive alms. A cashless society poses a sinister risk, Shea maintains. Governments will have unprecedented access to information and power, and based on past history, will probably use it. The government could seize money based merely on suspicions of government staff. The Supreme Court recently heard a case in which the government seized the money of a family-owned grocery store on the suspicion of money laundering because its cash deposits were below $10,000. So let's look at this over here. Joe Weisenthal, right, a big government guy, does not give the points that the government could impede on more of our civil rights and liberties. And also what Joe Weisenthal doesn't mention is that by getting rid of the cash-based system, what's going to happen is all these bankers and elites, they're going to have more control and they're going to consolidate more power. So this is what he doesn't talk about. And you have to realize that this individual, Joe Weisenthal, he's promoted by the mainstream media. So when you see someone promoted by the mainstream media, they're going to tout the line. And I think this guy, he wants to work for the New York Times or some big publication when Paul Krugman retires. Because who's the disciple of Paul Krugman, right? There's Joe Weisenthal or there's Matthew Iglesias. So that's something to know. When you see this kind of Bolshevik propaganda, something is clearly up. And then you have to also remember this guy, Kenneth Rogoff, right? Attended the Bilderberg Group meeting. So there you go. We have all these guys promoting to get rid of this cashless-based society. And as a result, bankers are going to win in that situation. And who loses? The middle-class guy. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to me. And in addition, I just wanted to say, I don't know what the hell happened in my last video. I didn't even realize there were problems with my audio. So I'm going to watch out for that. And hopefully it won't happen again. So sorry about that. But thanks to my subscribers to mentioning that to me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.